what can I do for you?
Well, it seems to be that you're operating under the common presumption that if somebody or their property is located physically in British Columbia or Richmond, that the laws of Richmond would apply, because you're citing something on here about a violation of one of the bylaws. So would that be accurate, that if they're physically in Richmond, then the bylaws would apply?
Correct.
Okay, my question.
But we don't know the individual who was doing it. If it's a rental property, we don't know who the people are. So we send a letter to the property owner.
I understand that, but the presumption is that if somebody or the property is physically in Richmond, then the bylaws would apply, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
My question to you would be, do you have any actual proof that that argument is true, that just because someone or the property is physically in Richmond, then the bylaws would apply?
No, we only have a complaint against this. So what I've done with my file is I've concluded it to the letter that I sent, because I don't have actual physical proof. So I'm not going to be proceeding any further other than the letter. So just informing the property owner that we received a complaint, and if they are the ones that are doing this, not to do it anymore, and we're done with it.
Okay, and that's great, but my question still is that, do you have any actual proof to support your argument that just because someone or their property is physically in Richmond, that the bylaws would apply to them?
Well, we received a complaint about people at that residence. Who they are, don't know. We just did a property search. That's why I have to investigate all complaints. This complaint isn't going to go any further because I do not have actual proof of who the person is. We just hold the property owner responsible of the actions. But in this case, I don't know who the person was. The complainant, I got the complaint through a third party. So we still have to take action on it somehow. And the only way for me to do it is just to send a letter.
I understand that, but that's why I asked you if you were operating under the presumption or the argument that if somebody their property is physically located in Richmond, then the bylaws that you are enforcing apply to them. So my question still is, what evidence, if any, or proof do you have to support the argument that just because, let's say my property is physically in Richmond, then these bylaws apply to me and you're able to enforce them against me?
Correct.
Well, what proof do you have that that's actually true, that if I'm physically in Richmond, then the bylaws apply?
If your property, I'm not sure if I understand exactly what you're asking. If your property is in Richmond, then all the laws for our bylaws apply to that property.
Right. That's your argument. I understand that's your position. Do you have any actual proof, any facts to support that and prove that it's true?
That's through our community charter.
The community
we have
charter.
A community charter, yeah, and our local government act. That's what gives us all the authority to enforce our bylaws on people in Richmond.
So if I'm physically in Richmond or my property is physically in Richmond, then the charter applies too?
Correct.
Okay, well, what proof do you have to support that argument, that if I'm physically in Richmond, then the Richmond charter applies to me?
So you're asking me the same question that you were doing from before, but I really don't understand what your intent of this question is.
I'm trying to find out if you can actually prove that the laws that you're enforcing actually apply to somebody just because they're physically in Richmond. Your position is, and I only went to the charter because you did. And so the next thing you may do is say the Canadian Constitution, and then I'll ask you the same question. Well,
the Canadian, it has nothing to do with the Canadian Constitution.
Well, I'm just trying to take your situation, what you're saying to me, take it to its logical conclusion, if we can call it that. But you're the one who brought up the charter, so we'll focus on that now. So your position is, if I'm physically,
are you the property owner on this issue?
No, I'm assisting them, and I live in Phoenix.
Okay.
And
I've concluded the file, and the file is now. We're not going to be pursuing the matter any further.
Fantastic. Just for my interest, because this is something that I do all the time in Canada. Yeah. I want to know, since this is something that you guys are doing all the time, and it's not just things like this, it also involves taxation, things like that.
Yeah.
My question, though, is
any legal issues specific legal issues about the enforcement of our bylaw has to be directed to our law department.
Well, you still have made several taken several legal.
I'm telling you where I get my authority from.
Okay. Now my question though is, and if you can't prove it, that's fine. Just tell me that. Do you have any facts to actually prove that your argument is true? That if I'm physically in Richmond, then the bylaws or the community charter actually applies to me?
If you're actually physically in Richmond?
Yeah. Because we've already established that if I'm physically in Richmond, then you said the community charter would apply to me, and then of course the bylaws.
Well,
so my question is if there's
I'm dealing with the property owner. That's if the property is in Richmond, then our bylaws would apply to that property.
Okay. Do you have any actual proof of that? Can you actually
that
prove
the property's in Richmond?
No. Can you prove that just because the property is physically in Richmond, that the charter and bylaws would apply to it?
Well, that's where you would have to contact our law department, because you're asking for legal opinions on this, and if you need case law to support that, then you can find that it does apply. But if you want a legal opinion, then you would have to contact our law department.
Well, I'll do that, but I'm not actually asking you. You've already given me the legal opinion. Your legal opinion is if the property is physically in Richmond and the charter and the bylaws apply. That's your legal opinion. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you if you have any actual facts, not case law, facts to support that particular argument and prove it's true.
So what's the purpose of this?
The purpose is to find out if you have any actual evidence to support your arguments that these laws apply to the people that you're enforcing it against.
Okay. If you have any notarized
let me put you on hold for 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So I think what I'm trying to get at is just.
I think we're going to end up talking in circles here, because what you're asking from me, I'm not exactly sure what answer you're looking for. So if you wanted to discuss legality, then please contact our law department at City Hall. And
well, I will.
276-4000.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What was the number?
604-276-4000. And then you can just ask to be transferred to the law department, and they can answer your questions.
But you're not able to actually prove.
If you're going to be speaking on legal matters, then we would direct all that stuff to our law department. If you're going to question the law and how it is enforced and who's entitled to enforce it and who can we enforce it to, then please contact our law department.
But you're very comfortable saying that if I'm physically or the property's physically in Richmond, then the community.
I'm comfortable in saying that. Yeah.
But you're not.
But then what you're asking for,
for
is further explanation.
But you're not able to actually prove it's true. You're not able to provide any actual facts to support the argument or the presumption.
Well, I could tell you that I've prosecuted people who have property in Richmond in provincial court. So those cases wouldn't have gone to trial if.
Oh, come on!
That don't apply.
No, that's an appeal to consequences. That's not actual evidence. I mean, I had them say that to me in Phoenix. They said the mountain of evidence to prove the laws apply are all the inmates in prison. But that's like saying, well, the laws apply to you, Mark, because we put other people in prison. That's kind of silly. That's really not any kind of evidence.
Well, that's your opinion on that. But like I said, if you wish to discuss that, please contact our law department.
I will do that. So just right before I let you go, so you're not able, just to be clear, you're not in a position to give me any kind of facts to support your argument?
No, I'm not. That's through our law department.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.